what's happening everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jazz and this is Endless Road. Bit of a different one today. We're actually doing a little side quest.
What kind of quest?
Now, if you're a subscriber, stop rolling your eyes now please. Originally, in this area, as you walk in through my front door, was a room, and a while back I knocked it down. So then I didn't really have anywhere to serve customers when they come in. Although now I've kind of gone away from doing body shop work and it's gone full steam ahead into artwork and custom painting and airbrushing, I still need somewhere to, you know, serve customers that come in and say, oh, I want my bike painted, I want my scooter painted or whatever. So I needed a kind of reception counter, but also looking ahead, it's not going to be right away, but in the future, if all things goes well, then hopefully I should have a little shop in here with things that you can buy that I've painted, and it might even develop into a little coffee chill out area. So for like, say, biker meets or scooter meets, like maybe once a month or something. That's the ideas I got in my head anyway. So to plan ahead for that, not only is this got to be a reception counter for customers, it's also got to be able to serve coffees, possibly. It's also got to be kind of like my office, because I don't have one. And I'm hoping that then I can build something that then could also serve as kind of a YouTube studio for videos. So like, you know, when you're sitting there and you got the nice background with like the dim lights. They were the requirements. So I needed to build in front of me here a reception counter to keep the peasants away. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. Now, I've said this numerous times in my van build, I am not a carpenter, so this isn't a tutorial on how to build a reception counter, because if any carpenters watch this video, then they'll probably go, oh my god, why has he built it like that? He could have done it like this, he could have done it like that. Bear with me on that. It's just see what I build. Now, in true jazzy fashion though, I have got a few ideas up my sleeve how I can decorate it, but I'm not giving them away just yet. So let's dive right into building it. Like I always seem to do, I've deleted the first part of the build. Somehow, where it's gone, I do not know. But the first part of it was to build the base as like a foundation to build everything upwards from there. But yeah, I don't have it, so basically all I did was make a frame, two lengths, two ends to it, and one in the middle. I think it was about 2.5 meters long I've done it. I can't remember how wide, say half a meter in depth rather, and then screwed all that together and then screwed it into the floor as well, so it can't go anywhere. Now that they're cut the right length, I can screw them on. I've already screwed this one on, taking care not to put them in the corners because we're gonna have uprights there, legs for the counter, so I don't want to be hitting any of those screws. Just put two in first so it doesn't move about. And because this isn't really important, I'm just using any old screws that I took out of all the uprights, out of the bits of timber. So these are actually plasterboard screws, but they'll do. And there it is, one base. And like I did for the footage of the foundation of this counter thing, it appears I've deleted some more concerning the legs.
Yeah. Oh, fucking twat.
Basically just cut 6 legs, cut them all the same length. I think they're about 80 odd centimeters long, and then yeah, proceeded to screw them on top of the plywood that I put on top of the base. That's the 6 main ones in, and I've actually cut and pocket holed 2 secondary ones that will go there, mainly just to give it support this way for the board so people don't bash it and stuff, and then put the pocket screws in. 8 legs installed. So obviously we haven't got one here and here, because if I have a chair this side, I'm going to want to put my knees underneath, and the legs are going to be in the way of that. So we just got one in the middle, and that should be enough. This is getting out of hand now. How have I done this? How have I got certain videos but not other ones? I've deleted making the frame for the top as well.
Oh, you're taking the piss now.
It's exactly the same frame as making the base, the screw to the floor. So just 2 lengths, 2.5 meters long, and then 3 pieces to join them together. Yeah, pop them on top of the legs then. I need to stop doing this, don't I? I don't know what's wrong with me. This is the fun bit, trying to get all the tops of these legs square with this now. Right, I got the 6 main ones screwed to this. I still got to put a screw down through the top of there into those ones. I didn't bother doing pocket holes for them ones. Let's see how level we are. This end we are a tiny bit out. Here, pretty good. Smack on there. In the middle, good. That's good. Good. And on the end, my camera doesn't like focusing on what I want to focus. That's also good. Well, I think that's a fluke. Okay, somehow I've just become extremely jammy because I've just raided my cupboard that's got all my like sheet wood in it, and I've only gone and found a piece of sheet timber for the worktop that is it's exactly the right size in length and width. I don't even have to cut it, and it's actually quite fancy stuff as well. It's called Velcro mat. So it's basically similar to MDF. It's like a form of MDF. It's made in the same way, but I think it's made out of different stuff. I'm not sure. It's really heavy stuff. I'm pretty sure it's waterproof. It's a lot denser. It's got other properties to it. You have to Google it to find out what. But all I have to do at the moment is just to notch it around this girder, and then it can slide that way, and it'll stop overhanging this edge then, and theoretically it should line up perfectly. Before I can work out the dimensions for the front board, what I want to do is have it as kind of like a 2-tier countertop, so then I can have a secondary worktop up here, and I can tuck stuff behind it that's out of sight, so like say like card machine and pens and pencils and a pot and stuff like that. It ain't going to be on show, and people can't get their grubby mitts on it either. So I need to determine the height of that before I go cutting the front board. And I didn't really know how high I wanted the second counter, so I've just stacked a few blocks of wood up there and just seeing what's comfortable basically. So I think that was that's okay. It's only gone and stopped raining, isn't it? I can flipping work outside now. Get this front board cut. theoretically, that should be perfectly square now. The front board is on. I've taken the spacer away from the bottom. So that bit of wood that you can see at the bottom, that'll get painted black, kind of like a, what they call it, a shadow gap. And then to secure it, I've put 3 screws in from this side, because they're in the corner, you can't really see them. But all the rest are from this side. So I had to do the old drill so far in with the pocket hole drill bit, and then sink the screw right in further than that because the screws aren't long enough. So I've done 3 there, and then because these beams are turned 90 degrees, the screws were the right length. So I've got 3 there and 3 in all the others apart from the end one, obviously. I've got this little bit made up across here now, and this will be the base for putting the secondary worktop on. So the front board is totally screwed on. I've screwed that into the top of this as well. These little uprights, they're just pocket holed into that, and then I've just screwed down from the top into them. I need to make it continue along the edge there. I've also cut the end board to go on, but first of all I have to shave part of the front board down so it sits flush with that, because God knows what's happened with my measurements. And there it is, that's the end board, and we got the other part of this fence here. So yeah, now I just got to work out how far this way I want the second worktop coming, and I want it coming over this way a bit, so that then I can put some sneaky little ambient lightage underneath. Unfortunately, I wasn't jammy enough to find another piece of material lying around that was perfect for the top countertop, so I had to go over to Wix to get a nice sheet of new 18mm ply. I tell you what, when you go to get a sheet of 18mm off the rack in wherever you may get it, if you're just like stepping out of the house and you've got clean hands, how hard is it to grip these and get it off the rack? There was another guy there getting some like 9mm off. I made a fool of myself in front of him. Oh, it's much better when you've been working all day and you've got a bit of crap stuck to your fingers and stuff. So yeah, let's see if I can get this out the back of the pickup now without making a fool to you lot as well. Because I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a carpenter lugging these around all day. They're flipping heavy. And a flipping split. Oh, flipping. Oh well. Definitely jinxed myself with that, didn't I? So anyway, I've marked out what I want on here now. The moment of truth. Right, the next bit I didn't film because I didn't really know how I was doing it. You could do it in a few different ways, and also depending on your skill level. So I've made the top countertop, but then I wanted a front to it that came downwards, so then I could put some lights behind it and hide them. That's the thing you could do in many different ways. And if I'd used my noggin, then I could have done the front of it out of the same board of 18mm that I'd done the countertop in, but when I cut that out, I cut the weird L shape. I think to do this cut along here, I cut along the board like that, which cut down the length of the entire board of the offcut. So then I didn't have a long enough piece to go on the front of it because I didn't think about it. And I wasn't gonna go out and buy another sheet of 18mm. If I didn't do cut through that offcut by accident, then I thought, well, would that be strong enough on the front, considering there's gonna be people leaning on it? Is it then gonna bend and snap off and rip out? So I wanted something a bit sturdy. There's probably ways of making that 18mm on the front sturdy enough, but I couldn't think of any, or I didn't have the ways and means to do it. So I thought, I'm just gonna put a piece of whatever the size this is, 4x2, I'm just gonna call it that. At least then that's sturdy enough, it ain't gonna go anywhere. And what I've also done is given it a little leg on this side, so I've just got to screw that in now through there. I've also put a bit of the CLS onto the wall there as to support that end, and I've got a leg on this corner as well. So now what I'm concentrating on is doing the end of this worktop that was already here. So it kind of matches this. And the reason why this is jutting out is I only want the door this wide, because making it the span of all that, it'd be a huge door. I didn't really want that. So I'm gonna have a little wall jutting out. So what I'm gonna do next is work out my height that is, and then build a bit up the wall there. This is gonna be the top bit, and I'll have another little leg going from there to there, and then we'll have a main leg going from there to there. That is actually more solid than what I thought it was going to be. I can't move that, so I'm really happy with that. I'm just skipping through this bit quite quick because it's the same process as what I did for all that. So next I gotta cut a board to go on the front of it, and then obviously I need to cut a piece of 18mm ply to go on the top, and then I'll face it off with some timber again on the end of it. Next I thought I'd tackle the door. So I want like a bar door that swings either way, so you need the specific hinges for that. They got a double hinge. Let me see if I can. No, I'm going to leave that because I'm going to trap my fingers in it. They're designed to go on like normal door frames, so the wood you plant it onto needs to be that thickness. So obviously if you put it on there's a gap behind it, it can't sit on there, so you need to bring something out for it to sit onto. So I measured it and made it some blocks of wood out of some 18mm, made them a bit longer so I can sink some screws in it, and I set them in with some big beefy boys by there, because obviously you need it quite strong so the door don't fall off. And then you got 4 holes on there, so that can then go on there now, and then I need to make the door. Voila, one door frame made. I don't know what this is going to turn out like, but obviously you've got to take into account the thickness of that, and then take into account the thickness of another one of them to go onto there, and obviously you've got to leave a bit of gap in between that and the end of the door so it actually clears it. Whether it will clear it, I think I've left a centimetre's gap. Not sure if that's enough. We will find out. If I must say, I'm winging it right now. The instructions don't really make sense to me for these hinges, but what I done is screw them ones in first, and basically there's let's see if I can see it. That pin there, you gotta put a rod into these holes here and move it so that then you can get that pin out. And then the hinges like this, there's no spring on it, so that's what I've done this side. And then you gotta put the rod back in and pull it all the way this way to put the pin back in, so that then there's a spring on it. So now I gotta do the same thing again by screwing these ones into the same buttons that I've put by there, I put on the door. Right, so I managed to get it all lined up and working. It did take a few goes, a bit of perseverance. Basically, I sat it on top of a piece of wood, the same thickness as what the base is made out of the main counter. So it made it the same level. And then just screwed it on basically the same way as I screwed the hinges into this. But the thing you got to do then, obviously, like I was saying, I took the pins out, so then there's no tension on the hinges. You then got to put the pins back in and wind the tension back in again. It takes a few goes, because if you don't get it right, the door ends up going like that with the weight of it. And to overcome that as well, you can't have the same tension on the top and the bottom, because physics.
Yes, science!
So the top one had to have more tension than the bottom one. The bottom one is just basically keeping just the weight of the bottom inwards, whereas the top one has got the weight of the full door on it. So yeah, that had to be tighter to stop it going like that. So yeah, that's basically my full reception, coffee shop, YouTube studio, office, all in one kind of area built now. I can't show you the rest of it now. I can't do like a nice B-roll of it because I've gone ahead and decorated it now.
Why did you do that to us?
Rather than make this video extremely long and you click off it before you see the good bit, I thought I'd do it in two separate parts. So I'd rather you see the next video. That the next video to me is more important, where we're decorating it. So yeah, keep this video nice and short, and then yeah, hopefully you'll look at the next video where the fun stuff starts to happen. Thank you very much for watching. Click on the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.